Hi guys, I am back. I'm just doing a quick couple shuffles here for you. I have pre-shuffled. I have pre-said prayers off this to try and cut back on the timing here for everybody. With that being said, today's video is going to be in relation to how the karmic partner is currently feeling about the divine masculine. With that being said, I just wanted to let everybody know that I did open up a patron service as well as a PayPal for donations. So if you are feeling inclined to donate to the channel, if you want to do it on a monthly subscription, that is available. As well, if you want just something as a one-time thing, that is also available. If you are interested in private readings, feel free to hit me up in the comment section and I will get to you and we can figure something out from there. Without further ado, let's just get right into the readings here, and we will go from there. With the donations being talked about here, I did want to let you know that anything that is donated towards the channel will either be used towards new decks, or if I can get a bit of money, a new camera, so we're not, so that the recordings aren't so kind of potato quality. I think it'd just be overall more enjoyable for everybody watching, I think. So, with that being said, let's see kind of what comes up here. I think that's going to be our reading. So, we have the World card as the overall energy. We have the Nine of Cups. We have Strength. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Wands. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Alright, so just a brief overview, we'll kind of head through it here. The Nine of Cups is all about wish fulfillment. The Strength card is all about taking courage and control, and really being in that control kind of environment. That's somebody that's really taking the situation and having precision with it. The Four of Pentacles is represented in this deck as more stability, but kind of maybe holding on to something. We'll see more when we get some clarifiers underneath it. The Ten of Wands is burden. This is somebody that feels like they might be working too hard, or that the situation might be overwhelming even. It is also a 10, so it is a completion of a cycle. As well, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about karmic cycles ending. It's also a 10, so it's a completion of a cycle. So with the World card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Wands all being in significance to something ending here, I'm not saying that the relationship is going to be ending, but there is going to be some major changes occurring, whether that's emotionally, physically, three-dimensionally, we'll know more. But with it just being an energy reading in it, take it for what it's worth here. This could be them coming into the understanding of what this is. A lot of times people think before they act, right? So, I don't want that one. Okay. So, with under their wish fulfillment here, they have the High Priestess, they have the Nine of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. This really talks to me about them maybe stepping into their intuition under what they've been hoping for, and starting to see things through a new light. Because the High Priestess is all about things that have been hidden in the past coming to light, and that bringing in some new insight here. This new insight probably is in reflection to the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is all about sleepless nights, anxiety, worrying, stress-related events. Them basically not being able to break this mental head block of this is how it's always going to be. I guess that's more of an Eight of Swords energy, but I'm still kind of picking up on that same message here. That's still kind of coming across. So still that kind of same feeling. And obviously this is in regards to the Divine Feminine. They're watching the Divine Feminine. I would not be surprised, guys, if karmic partners are looking at your Facebook. If they are talking to friends about you, like maybe friends of friends or something like that, just depending on how connected you guys are, like how close the cycle or circle of people is. This might be them even snooping through phones of the Divine Masculine, or maybe old letters, or whatever the case might particularly be for your instance. But to me, this is them kind of, in a way, like either going through maybe old messages with either the Divine Masculine or something like that. This is them still like looking into the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine's relationship and that situation. So with the Strength card being present here, let's see kind of what they're trying to come into control of, what they're trying to gain from it, what they're trying to understand. So it looks to me like they have the Ten of Cups show up, they have the King of Pentacles, and the Magician. So to me this says that they are trying their best here to figure out a way to take control of the situation in a way that results in emotional fulfillment from them with the Divine Masculine. They're very much trying to keep the Divine Masculine grounded and with them and in a stable kind of environment so they can have this wish fulfillment here. And they're going about this by either manipulating the circumstances to their favor, or by spending just a lot of energy and time trying to manifest this outcome. This is them mentally saying, hey, what can I do to create a circumstance in which me and the Divine Masculine stay together? Okay. The Four of Pentacles could very much be them holding on to this situation, or okay, so the Four of Pentacles here is about them holding on for sure. They're holding on, but they're holding on to the idea of this betrayal that's occurred between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. And they're trying to figure out how to take action in moving away from that kind of mindset. They're trying to figure out how they can essentially distance themselves from feeling like that's a thing. So maybe they'll have conversations with the Divine Masculine about having them cut you completely out of their life because they feel like there's been a big betrayal in regards to this. This is very much them feeling like they've been stabbed in the back by the Divine Masculine, or even just the Divine Feminine in nature. But they're feeling some sort of betrayal that's occurred here. And it's definitely in relation to the Divine Feminine. So to me, with everything that's happened here, this is definitely them being aware of the Divine Feminine's presence in the situation and feeling like maybe the Divine Masculine is either more interested in the Divine Feminine, or they might even just be feeling kind of betrayed because of the connection that the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine have together. And they're trying to figure out how to move the situation away from where the Divine Feminine is really present in it. With that being said, we have the Ten of Wands here. So this is the completion of burden. This is that kind of energy here. They might be feeling pretty overwhelmed. And because they're feeling overwhelmed, we have Justice show up here. Justice is about bringing balance to the situation. Trying to find some outcome here. And really the balance comes in them holding on to the situation, or holding on to this idea here. This idea of conflict and competition between the two of them. So as they're working through this burden, and of feeling overwhelmed and overworked in this situation, and they're seeking out the balance to come through it. They might feel like things haven't been in balance, or that maybe even the divine masculine lacks accountability, but they're still holding on to the conflict and the competition between the two sources here. Um, they're not relinquishing the 10 of swords energy. They're not relinquishing the 9 of swords energy. This is still them very much feeling like there's a competition and conflict between the two of them. And with that brings in the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is obviously that karmatic cycle of shifting here. Let's see what comes up with it here. No, that's... So, the Wheel of Fortune with the Sun here is really, to me, it's talking about them having enlightenment on the situation. Them still very much, they're seeing it clearly for what the situation is. They understand basically everything that's gone on, and they're trying to seek out the happier times here with this. They're trying to essentially start a new chapter between them and the divine masculine, in which they can move forward out of that kind of a burden area. With the representation of this 10 of wands, it's very much them trying to basically feel out how they can move forward without having all this awareness of the betrayals and the sneaking around and deceptions that's going on. And this comes through in a form of some sort of passionate conversation between them and the divine masculine. They somehow are going to essentially relay their emotions to the divine masculine about everything that's gone on, all these burdens, all these trials, and everything like that. That's kind of their hopes. That's their desires of what they're wanting to accomplish here. What's going to be the overall outcome, Spirit, for this situation, this conversation that's going to be had here? So we have the 9 of Cups that leads into the Devil and the Moon. So to me, this is them saying that they are really trying to fulfill their wishes here. But in them fulfilling their wishes, they're really actually kind of giving into the temptation of the illusion that this is going anywhere. This is them not breaking the chains or the bonds that in a situation that really doesn't fulfill them or serve them in their best and highest interest. And you can kind of look at this in this big picture scale of realizing that even though they might be wishing for this to occur, for the divine masculine to essentially stay, everything that's already happened between them is really not in their best interest to stay in this situation. If you have a partner that's been, sneaking around on you and that is emotionally connected to another person in a higher level than you, holding on to that is just really not in their best interest. And that's the universe acknowledging that, hey, these bonds here for this person are just really not in their best interest. It's something that they also need to break, because it's not going to be a fulfilling situation. Despite them hoping and trying to have it be a fulfilling situation, this thing, if you have someone that's in love with somebody else, and yet they love you, you can't hold on to the fact that they love you when they're in love with somebody else. And you're seeing that here with the representation of the moon, because the moon is all about things being in the dark and you know, with very little light, and seeing it for the illusionary state, you know, of what it is. Things don't look the same at nighttime as they do in the daytime, you know, shadows cast differently and things like that. So ultimately, this is really them ending up in this kind of very defensive situation where they want it, but it's really not in their best interest to keep going after it. And hopefully, you know, they come to this realization here sooner than later. Because I mean, with the presence of the world, it is kind of a changing of the chapter. It's an ending of a cycle here. So with them moving forward and trying to seek out all of this here, um, you know, it looks like they're going to keep trying to push forward to make it happen, despite it probably not being in their best interest. So this is part 1 of 2, because this is just how the karmic partner is feeling towards the divine masculine. We're going to do a reading about how the divine masculine feels about the karmic partner as well. I will get that out right after this video. Alright, thank you guys.